So we're 5 minutes before the start of Nadeau Sensei's class in the virtual dojo. Please take this opportunity to settle down and enjoy the poetry of O Sensei. And I'll ring a bell to begin the quiet period. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to May Days. It's May 1st, and wherever you are, hope you're in good spirits. Nadeau Sensei will be leading this class. This is the 7th weekly virtual dojo class by Nadeau Sensei, and glad to see so many people joining in again this week. Thanks to Ken Cron and Richard Moon and Katja Simona for helping to produce this. And I hope everybody is all set. You've got your space cleared away, able to stand up, sit down, move around as Sensei goes into his class. As always, I've posted the place where you can make voluntary donations if you're so inclined. They are completely voluntary, but they're very much appreciated whenever they do come in. And many of you have sent in very generous donations, and we want to thank you for that. Just to remind you, there'll be Moon Sensei will teach a class tomorrow at 4 o'clock, as he has done in these past weeks. And on Monday, there'll also be an Aiki dialogue session, again, the third time running. And with that, I think we're ready for Nado Sensei. If I'm going to cancel my spotlight, and hopefully Katya will turn on Sensei's camera. Here we go.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Oh, okay. Ah. Okay. Basics. What do we have here? Okay. This is a person in their first normal. Okay. The next dimension is this one here. It has more finer energy. Okay. So this person has an idea or a desire of something more. As soon as he has the idea, that idea is touching the next more, which activates in relation to the idea. Okay? The proper idea to the energy, there's a balance between those two. Unless you're going to get weird and have an outlandish idea, I don't know what the energies will be. Or if they'll say, this is too outlandish, we're not going to do anything. Okay, so a proper lineup, idea to the energy response. Okay? So balance, relationship, harmony. There's a natural harmony. This sense of idea to the energy is a small version, but very important, a smaller version of mind-body harmony. Okay, and that version is based on a bigger version of some great idea of creation, and following it, just lickety-split, is all the stuff of creation. So there's a original perfect harmony, but that's the big picture. We'll come back on that another day. I think I'll probably label it a big part of the big picture in case we need 2 classes for that. But anyway, this is based on something bigger. So if we get it, the tricks of the trade at the first level, it will facilitate the continuing of tricks of the trade, finer and finer, and for lack of words, bigger and bigger. Okay? Careful of the word bigger. As we do dimensional, it'll look bigger. Sensei would say, careful of bigger. I don't want you to dissipate. He said, say finer. So each dimension is finer than the previous one, is the game. That's how it works. Let's see, I'm checking my board. Okay, let's start with an exercise. Katya, forefront. Okay, look, watch her. Sit-ups. Okay, just watch. She'll do a couple. And back and sit up. Okay. And one more just so they can get a flavor for back. And sit up. Okay. Okay. Now, I hope you all have room to lie down. Okay. Would you go into a lie down? Go ahead, lie down, Katya. Give me a reference here. Okay, so everybody is lying down. I don't want you to think about sit-ups. We're not going to do any sit-ups, okay? What I want you to do now is relax, settle, pull out, let go. Again, find your own words. It's like you're a cube of butter on a hot day, and you're just melting into the floor. Okay. Parts of you are settling first, other parts are staying up. But as you continue more fully, feel the parts that are melting down in, and the higher parts will begin to follow suit. Settling, spreading, ooze out your melting butter. Easy. Let go. Nothing to think about, so don't go heavy into what are we doing, where are we going. Stop. Feel, breathe, settle, feel settled. Okay, so everybody's on the ground settling, right? Okay. Now I'm going to do a little something. Stay settling. Settle as I talk. The command is going to be get ready, get set, go. Okay. Now again, a moment, double check settling, cooling, relax. Nothing to do now. Settle. We're not going to do anything. Flavor. Okay. Now, we're going to do 20 push-ups, sit-ups. Sorry. We're going to do 20 sit-ups. Ready? Get set. Stop. Easy and feel. Feel. Now, what I was trying to do was call up a bunch of energy, which hopefully you're sense feeling now. Okay? We called up energy, it's there. One question I would have is, what are you calling the after effect of that? Would you say, oh, I'm getting anxious? Would you say excited? Would you say, I can't cope with this thing? What's your after effect from calling this up? What do you call that? Okay. Easy. Okay. I think good enough there. Thank you. Okay. So what I was hoping to do was to show you, so you could experience, hopefully, this energy moving around. It's not just some idea of energy. It's an actual, and I was hoping you could feel that, that stuff that was activating. Also, I wanted to show you how, here's a good time where I wish we could talk back and forth fast, but we can't do it in this circumstance. But to listen to your words, oh, I was anxious or I was excited. For some people, when I said, okay, I called up this energy and your system responded. And when I said, stop, some of you probably got angry at me for stopping you because you had all this energy and in a certain way didn't have any place to go. So I said, stop with the sit-ups. We're not going to sit up. So anxiety, excitement, anger at me, okay, and whatever else. Right? To show you how when energy is activating, we make up stories about it. Okay. So for those who are saying, oh, that made me anxious, where are you going to go next with that? Doctor, I'm anxious all the time. Give me a pill. And therapist, why am I anxious all the time? And you're going off and off and off. Well, it's kind of basic. It's kind of basic. All right. So in many ways, we call up the energy. In many ways, the energy itself, how to say this, will want to activate to help push you along to a better level of you, to a better you character. So Bobby might be pushed by the energies of Robert that want to come into play and be Robert here. Okay. Do I have time for a story? Yeah, quickie. As a young man, 19, I was working in a factory just to make some money. And I was a bit of an athlete then, right? But I'm getting like sick. My heart suddenly is palpitating at different times. I'm getting dizzy. And what the hell is this? I went to a doctor. He was sharp. He did all the basic tests, but he spotted me from the get-go. Finally, he's talking to me. Nothing shows up in the test. How you doing? Do you have a girlfriend? How you doing there? Where do you work? I said, oh, this factory. He spotted me. He said, you can't stay there. You've got to move along in life. So being in a factory as Bobby, my Robert, the more of me, the better character, was crowding me. And these energies were affecting me physically. My first understanding of psychosomatic illness. And I really was, wow, that's fascinating how strong it can be. What is it? How does it work? So that was one of my earlier beginnings in this study. Okay. Did you follow that story? Okay. Katja? Yeah? Okay. Okay. So I need page 2. Another part of this, let's go back over this again. There's an idea or a desire or a wish, find your own word, idea. I have an idea I would like to be better. Okay. I have an idea. The idea done properly presents down to the active energy. The active energy is touched by that idea and responds. So we got arrows down to touch and arrows up, meaning it's responding. And as that happens, that responsive energy mixes, is my word, it mixes up a better character. I am Robert. I'm not Bobby, I'm Robert. Okay. So be careful what you're thinking. That's where that came from. If you're thinking stupid, dumb, negative thoughts, what are you calling up? Okay. All right. So careful what you think, because you're calling something up. May not be what you want. If you're going to practice, don't confuse the system. If you can give an idea to get the energy, I don't know, make up a story. You're at the golf course, whatever, and you want to play golf. You're a golfer. You want to play golf. But there you start thinking about your relationship with your teenage kid, which is not good. And you're thinking about that. You've just screwed up the golf idea to the golfer energy, what mixes up golfer having fun. So you screwed up your alignment. So be careful when you play or practice that you don't throw out too many things at once. I don't know if I could say it confuses the system, but in a certain way it confuses the system. Okay, so you can't have 2 thoughts, 3 thoughts, 4 thoughts, and have any semblance of balance and harmony and orderliness. Okay. Since I like that a lot about being at first orderly or squared away or properly present. Okay. Let's see. You got your chair for stand and sit? All right. Set your chair up. If it's a lounging chair, this won't work very well unless you're sitting on the edge of it. Okay. So you can stand. Okay. Now, this practice is going to be for sitting, settling. Okay. Sit, settle, easy. I would suggest a sense of opening. Open as you settle. Open as you settle. Feel. There's a bunch of ideas about this, but that's that. This experience. Feel your butt on the chair. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel this maybe, I don't know, a little widening. I feel a little more. I feel a little more present. I feel a little bit lower in my tummy. Whatever. Okay, your experience. I'm just saying mine to give you an example. Okay, and standing. Okay, that's that. Now again, settling. Settle. Open. Experience, feel. Different than thinking about feeling. Experience, feel. Settling, being present. Not as an idea, but as an experience. I feel a little bit sense of being lower. There's also a sense here of being calmer. What's yours? Settle, open, be present, open. I want the experience of it, not the ideas of it. In fact, what I might do today to distinguish between feeling, experiencing, and the idea, instead of doing idea, I think I'll do idea. Okay, that's an idea. This over here is experience, actual experience. That's an idea. Okay, I might do that today, just to distinguish instead of saying this is feeling and this is an idea. Maybe they're too close, so I'll really go outlandish. That's an idea. Okay, here's my idea. Have a proper idea to feed to the system. System energy responds back as best as it can, equal to your idea. It's trying to, they're in relationship, body, mind, harmony eventually, which is, anyway, we don't want to go into the big picture, but there is a relationship. So once you understand that, you'll be more aware and careful of what you're thinking. Okay. So I tell a story in Japan. I was walking to my apartment, and as I was walking, way in the back of my mind, I was thinking negative, not conscious. That damn fool really pissed me off today. I wasn't that conscious. Vague. I barely picked it up that I was thinking negative back there, but I caught it. I was thinking negative, and I thought, that's not right. I shouldn't be doing that. So purposefully, I would practice because I knew if I just walked to my apartment, that could happen again. So when I started walking to my apartment, playing with centering, I'd line up the telephone pole and then line up to the next pole, and I'd be centered on that center. And I'd just play a game to be positively active. Okay, I chose to do that. Okay, don't know if that story helped, but that's where I'm coming from. One more. This is standing. Yeah. Now we're going to sit, settle, relax, open. Be more present here as an experience, not an idea, as an experience. Okay. Everyone okay so far? And again, it'd be nice to talk to different people and say, well, what's your feeling of settling on the chair? And because you're all having your own particular for you. So I say, settle. You might like a different word. Let go of all of this nonsense out there. Let it go so you can settle. Let go. Open. You might like, instead of opening, settling down, clearing from all of this stuff, from Bobby's stuff, clearing from that. We'll see. Just let go of Bobby's stuff for a bit. Clear. Again, find your own word, okay? Now we're going to change the practice. One more stand. Okay. And once more, sit, settle, open, clear, and I want to stand better. That's my idea. I'm not sure what better means. So again, you'll have your own, whatever happens is your style of the moment. I want to stand better. That idea is touching the pool of energy, and the pool of energy is touched by it in a certain way, feels the idea and responds, and it mixes up he who stands. Okay. Now I'd like you to experience, send an idea, the energy mixes up, Oh, Sensei would say there, recreate yourself. Good word to start with. For me, I like mix it. The energies mix up a character, a character. I'm here. I'm he who stands. I. That's an important piece. I'll get into that hopefully a little clearer after a few minutes. You're ready. Settling is opening. I still have an idea that I want to stand better. Okay. And open, it's mixing, it's gathering and mixing up this character. Okay. In my case, what I noticed and sort of liked was I didn't have to use my muscles so much. There was a kind of a flow up through my body, kind of flowed me up. I didn't have to struggle up like my age would have me do. Settling, opening, still on that same run. I'd like to stand better. You should have a little sense of how you're standing. Are you standing stronger? Are you standing flowingly? Are you standing gracefully? Are you standing whatever? You should have your own flavor there. If you're really here sensing, boom. Okay, mine is a little, for me, of course, is a little more strong, determined. Boom, I'm here, ready for whatever. That's me. What's yours? What's yours? Okay. It could be fluid. It could be prettier. It could be flowing. So you should have your own flavor. See, the pattern's the same for everybody, but your flavor is yours. I'm trying to teach you patterns. Who you are is who you are. Okay. If you're a musician, then with different practices, stand as a musician. If you're a warrior, stand as a warrior. If you're a lover, stand as a lover. Parent, stand as a parent. Your own style, your own who are you character. All right. So I'll throw out mine as example, but always be ready to check yours. Sometimes mine and yours will be very similar, and now and then they'll be the same. But your mix is your mix. Okay. And the character that's mixed is you. Character I make is me. Okay. And settling, opening, a little more sensitivity, sense feeling. The energies are mixing and gathering. And is it time yet? And here they come. Boom. I stood up strongly. Feel yourself. Not think about yourself. You think about that. You're off the game. Breathe yourself. Feel yourself. You're a standerer. Okay, a fuller sense of yourself as that character. Last one. Settle. Clear, open, easy. Find your own words. Sense of opening. The energies are gathering. Now try to pick up their timing. They're gathering. Wait, don't jump the gun. Gathering. Boom. And I felt like, almost like I was lifted. Almost a little bit like God's hands were under my butt and flowed me up. For those of you from Hawaii, hi, Gina. It's kind of like waiting for the right wave. On a practice like this, the energies are gathering, and you might feel a few small waves. But after a while, you learn not to try to come in with your surfboard on the small waves. Why bother? After a while, you can kind of tell, yeah, small wave. Here it comes. The next one's going to be a doozy. Yeah, that one. And you ride the big wave. After a while, you can feel when it's really ready to go with this time allotted. I mean, we could stay there longer. We could stay here for an hour and wait for the giant wave. But within the timing practice that we're doing. There'll be one boom that's better than the other. Boom, boom, booms. Okay. So kind of like surfing, listening to the wave, riding them properly. I think okay on that. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Ah. Okay. Okay. Couple of dialogue here. We have a tendency in the human condition to have a lot of experience with ideas and awareness and all that mental part, and to be quite lacking in this experiential part, or what we'll temporarily call body. Okay. So we have little stories about this. This guy talks big, but he can't produce. Great ideas, but he ain't got the wherewithal to do it. So he's bullshit. All right, you know those people. This guy could bite off with his big idea more than he can chew. He can't intake that much energy. He can't chew that much. He bit off more than he can chew. So we're aware of this thing. We just have used different words. Okay. But that's what's going on with that kind of phraseology. We make jokes about this guy. He's a legend in his own mind. He thinks he's great. We don't see the actual character of great, but in his mind, he's great. Okay. Settle, stand, form a character. Okay, an important part of character. So we have the idea of within that character. We have the energy that balances it out, and that's what it's trying to do. So the idea and the amount of energy, and the actual makes character. I am. The important piece there is that I, not I. Okay. Let's use a core. I with the core, I as core, or I using center to rep, I centered stand. So it's very important that that personal piece, the I, the me, the self, the truer self, is inhabiting, positioned here in this character. If we haven't, I'm aware of that character from out here, the character is something's missing, and the character dissipates really fast. Could be there sort of for a moment, but he dissipates fast. When you have the proper lineup of the idea with the energy and allowed to mix fully, boom, I am a standerer. This character will last quite a while. Oh, eventually he'll dissipate because other things will come up. But he can really naturally sustain himself. He's not talking about something else. This is him. Okay. Are we all right so far? Yeah. Let me check my notes. My body. I think okay. Yeah. We're flipping pages here. Okay. Practice. Okay. Now, I think the heading for this workshop was situational. Okay. Let's look at it this way. Let's say with sit stand, that was just a practice we made up to practice how the process works and to get some experience. So you make up a dumb game that's not really important to you. You make it up as a game, okay? And then you can practice with a clearer sense of the process, because you're not invested a certain way. It's not like, oh, I got to get better at this or I'm going to lose my job. You see, something simple, I remember as a kid throwing the ball against the wall, bing, bing, bang, bing, bing, bang. Something like that, where you almost don't care, but you're seeing how the process works. Okay. If I open, does it throw better? If I open, it be better. Do I catch better? But it's a dumb game. You know it. Okay. So there's that set of things. Next set would be things that are a little more personal. I want to be a better parent. So energies are starting to mix to create a better daddy or mommy. Okay. So it's not just physical. We show a lot of physical because it's so easier to get the tricks of the trade. But this mix is for everything. You want to be a better salesman? Bing. Okay. Uh, Napoleon Hill, Thinking Your Way to Riches, more advanced than his first layout. I warn you. But it's an old book. It's been around. It's still on the bestseller list, I think. Thinking Your Way to Riches. How to conceive something so that, boom, you can be a rich man. Again, it's a little more advanced than this form, but we got to start someplace. Good form to start with. But there's that. Okay, where am I going? Where am I going? Personal, the better. Okay. So you've got things you're really interested in. I'm a golfer and I got to be a better golfer. I'm a parent. I want to be a better parent. I'm a salesman. I want to sell more. Okay. Use this same process. Okay. Because the energies aren't just physical. They'll mix up whatever. Better salesman. It might kick in a lot of awareness of clients where you'll have a feeling for the person you're trying to sell to. And you'll know if you overstep your bounds, and you'll know, here, there's the way I can reach them. That's will be part of the mix. So the energies are intelligent. This guy up here this guy tends not to know that. Isn't all of his intelligence is here. He doesn't know that this is half, but full of the universe is also intelligent. Okay. Let's see, body, mind. It's like mind, yes, but mind, minors, there we go. Mind majors in minding, minors in feeling. This stuff majors in feeling and minors in being aware of itself. So one majors in it and minors in something, the other one majors in that one's minor and minors in that one's major. Okay. Yin yang. Male, female. Izanagi, Izanami. This is a first presentation of the two of creation. Again, it's a lesser form, but we have to start somewhere, and the first basics are very important. See, some of you will get very philosophically spiritual. Oh, yes, there is a great he and she of creation. And I'm sorry, but at that level, what are you going to do with it? Nothing's happening. You're happy in your own mind knowing that, but it's almost bullshit, even though it's true. Whoever's saying it is kind of, yeah, it's bullshit. I'm sorry. Okay? You have to experience these things. This is a nice, simple way to start. An idea to the pool of energy, which responds and creates character. And that's going to go on and on. Yes, the picture will get bigger and all of that, but that's your starting point. Very important, very important. Okay. Back
Excuse me,
to
Nando Sensei. Excuse me, Nando Sensei. This
yeah.
is Warren. And
Yes.
there's some question. Some people are having difficulty reading your chart. Could you please tell us what's written on the bottom? What is written and what do you mean?
Activating energies. This is the idea. These are the energies that activate.
Thank you.
They respond. Yeah.
Thank you.
I say, hey, I need something. Boom, something is here. Okay. And again, you can call your shots. I need to be more caring. Easy. Now it's starting to mix up a caring person. Okay. My first one is a little vague because that's not my major. as you know. But as I continue, I need to be more caring. Hello? You see, it's mixing up. And I feel a little softer. Is that it? Stop. Let it be what it is. First, I feel softer. Anything else there? Softer and I don't know, softer and easier and a little not so positive, a little more laid back, a little bit. And then I continue. And after a while, it'll mix up a caring person, a caring character. Okay. So, responding energies to the idea. They know what to do. The idea guy figures I have to tell him what to do. No. You'll screw it up. Let them be let them be who they are, doing what they do. Okay. Oh, Sensei did that at his level. That's where I picked up the phrase from. They are what they are, doing what they do. And he trusted that and he let them. Okay. Which is I got to figure out how to defeat that guy, and then I got to tell myself to do this. He didn't do that. He was very clear with me about that. They are what they are, and they're doing what they're doing, and I trust the eventual perfection of all this stuff to just get better and better and better. Okay, as you repeat a dumb practice over and over, you'll see it's getting better. You're starting to go through dimensionality. Okay. So remember dimensionality. If somebody's tuning in, do we have a dimension? Okay, there's a dimensionality. So we start here and we have a certain amount of energies. Again, the picture is bad. They're all the same size. Okay, but we draw this because this is the only way I know to draw it. We start at this level and this mixes up a Bobby. Okay, if he catches on to the process, he can go through that paper thin border there. And this next dimension has finer energies and more, could we say? And it will mix up a Robert. That's called lineage. I'm on lineage, Bobby, Robert, whatever. If he continues, Robert will present himself properly and open up. And this next dimension of finer energies will mix up Nado, continuing Sensei, continuing, and on and on. Like that, people think I'm getting too fancy there. But that's dimensionality. Okay. Also, Sensei's form pattern he used, I was very aware of dimensionality. So again, if we get the tricks of the trade at the first level, how this guy, we'll say he's a Bobby or you, and depending where you start with where you start. Some days you start on a bad day. Some days it's a fair day. No, it's not too bad. Some days it's a good day. Holy shit, what a nice day. I feel great. And everything kind of clicks for you. It doesn't matter. You start with where you start. And then you play a game to click into the next dimension, which mixes up the next you. Okay? Beyond lineage. Are you working a parent lineage? Are you working a golfer lineage? Are you working a salesman lineage? Are you working a healing lineage? Okay, oh, okay, story. I got this from Betsy Hill. Her father was a doctor. Must have been top of the line because he was leading a group of young doctors. I forget what he called young doctors. Residents. Thank you. Resident doctors through the ward. They, stop at the hospital bed and look at the chart, whatever. The head doctor would ask them later, what they thought, whatever. And so they're checking out one patient, and someplace in there, Betsy's father said to the residents, he said, did you notice that guy had a headache? And none of the other residents saw that or felt that, knew that. And he got irked. See, the doctors were working at that level, let's say. Betsy's father was working this or the next one, where he could see from that better dimension of him, he could see things they couldn't see, or he sensed it. He could sense guy had a headache. They weren't able to sense because they were still whatever, being a little heavier as doctors. And he got irked at them. It's almost like he's saying to them, where are you coming from? What dimension are you working from? If he had known those words, I'm sure he would have said that. You can't see he had a headache? What the hell dimension are you coming from? Okay. Oh, where are we? Situation. Okay. I think we need another picture. Where's my situation picture? Not that one. This one. Situation. Okay. Now again, what sparks dimensional activity? I can play a game and call it up. I can be very serious about wanting to be better, and that calls it up. Now, sometimes the situation will force the issue. Situation coming at you will call up this guy developing. Okay. Yeah. This one down here is, I just wanted to change from this situation coming at you to being in the middle of the situation, where you say, where'd this come from? Or what am I doing here? I'm sure you've all said that in some form. So whichever way you want to look at the situation coming at you, or you find yourself in the middle of a situation, no big deal. Okay, situation. I bore you. Gotcha, Mr. Gotcha. Okay, I'm just hanging out. I'm on the street corner, and suddenly, bang! Suddenly, this is a situation happening. Okay, if I'm not a better level of me, I tighten up, I kick back. My stomach is kind of grabbing. I think my breath stopped there for a moment. Okay, there's a lot of inside. Now, if I do it this way, now if I were in a better dimension, it would mix up a better boom. This already feels different. It doesn't feel like she's in me anymore. And she's saying the same thing. She doesn't feel like she's in me. It feels more like probably going around me. Because I'm a better character, that used to hurt doesn't hurt anymore. My reaction to it is different because I'm a better character. Now, if I were to settle, open in this situation, I need a character and trust the energy to mix up a character. And this character seems to be sort of enjoying this problem being here. Seems like he wants to play with it a bit. Oh, I'm happy to be in this situation, which is not what I would have said on the first one. Right? Better character. Again, easy, settle, open, better character. In this situation, better character. Boom. I am a better character. I feel where her energies are going. And that would be an Aikido example. Okay. But the point is, being a better, stand the same way. I don't think you're standing the other on me. Were you standing that way? Oh, sorry. Being a better character, at that level, I could feel her energies. That I could feel that. I'm like the doctor story. Okay. Like the doctor would say to the resident, couldn't you feel that she wanted to go that way? Can't you feel that? It's so obvious. At my third level, it's obvious, but on my first level, it's not. It's not. I got a problem here. Third level, it's a whole different story. It's yeah, it's over there. Okay. I think good enough, yeah. So where are we? Situations. Situations. Maybe we'll do another one. Let's do another one, and you can stand and have an invisible partner if you need one. Let's do the old extended arm one. Okay. Here's a situation. Let's say the situation is hold the line or strong arm. Okay. Settling. Don't mind if I'm a little fast with this. I settle, I open, it mixes up. Let's do it from here. Let's do it from here. Here. Let's do here. A little stronger. I notice I'm pushing a little bit, but yet there's a bit of fair, consistent. Not great, but fair. This wire that's here feels like it's bent a little bit. Okay. Okay. Next level, disengage. Settling, opening. I feel a little more like I'm fuller. There's a touch of a wall here. It's like a wall. I can almost feel it there, the wall. So my system mixed up Mr. Wall, hold the arm. And she's just saying, yes, she can feel it. Wall. Yeah. Now that wasn't a push. Don't mislook here. That was this mixing up. That's just the glow of it. That's why she's moving. It's just a of it. I'm not a push. Okay. That would be the I trying to do this stuff. Instead of letting the system. Last one. Boom. Okay. Is that better? Okay, what's happening here with the system is the system said, you want a stronger arm? We need a better base to support that arm. Because I can feel my feet really settling. That was the energies call. You see, you can learn that. Sensei may say to you, have better feet. That's okay, but I would rather you settle and open and feel your energies, what they're doing. Okay. Learn the language of the energies. Sometimes I like hear words like have a good base. I sort of heard it. The other is I'm seeing an image of something that's plugged down to the ground and sort of bolted in nicely. So as you hang out with the energies, it's a little bit like the downtime or the unknown. It's active, okay? It's active, and it talks. Everything talks to itself, and you know that language. You just forgot it because you've been up here an idea so much. You forgot the language of this feeling experience. But you know the language. You've come back here. You'll remember the language as you hang out. Okay. Where are we? So situations. When we see somebody better positioned, better character in the situation, we have words for that. He rose to the occasion. Something happened and he mixed up, we could say no. The mix went on properly for the occasion. He rose to the occasion. Another phrase. Look at that guy. He's so comfortable looking. He's in his element. So this situation, which to other people would be a problem, he's having a ball with it because he's positioned there with it. There's a relationship. He's in his element, we would say. Okay. Sometimes the negative side, you're not quite ready, and you say, "Oh, the situation is too much. I can't cope with it." Either it is too much, or you haven't learned the tricks of how this assembles pretty quickly after a while. Don't worry about speed right now. Get the detailed sense feeling of it. But where this mixes up really fast and appropriate for the situation. So there'll be less and less of, that's too much for me. Okay. Right. So you've got some control over those kinds of negatives if you want to practice. Let's get into the word practice. That may not be your word. What if you, as a little kid, your parents forced you to play the piano and you hated it, and they would say to you, practice the piano. I don't think that's a good word for you right now. So let's play games with our own personal game playing to learn how it works and to get into finer of it and learn about dimensionality experientially. Learn about the different mixes of a character and how the character feels. Stuff like that. So let's play some games. So again, your own word. Practice may not be your word. Play might be your word. I remember Terry Dobson back in Japan pondering one day. He realized that in Aikido, we often said, let's go play Aikido. And the other martial arts would talk about study. Let's go study judo. And he was one day pondering on the difference. Play is a little bit lighter word. Okay, if we had gotten too tight there, we'd get away from the real work and get into tight martial art kind of thing. Anyway, I just remember Terry mulling on why there's those very distinct difference of words. So let's try play if practice is not your word, or find your own word. I could say I'm making believe this game, but I don't want you to go into I'm making believe. This is an experiential make believe. This is make believe is a trick to get you into the inner reality of dimensionality. Okay. And by the way, inner. All dimensions are inner. They're not out there. Okay. It's inner. It may show out there. A better mix of inner may show I may glow a bit more, even body-wise. But it's because of the inner thing is a little fuller that can you see that happens. Okay, a bullshitter learns that that's cool, and I got it, I'll do it. He's walking around like that. Okay, that's make believe. He ain't got it really. His eye and his awareness are sort of tied up out there. Okay. So is that okay when a situation comes at you? This will start to reassemble to be equal to the situation best as it can in the time allotted. All right. So you're standing on a street corner, God, a nice day, nothing happens. Suddenly an attacker presents himself as actually attacking. What your system is trying to do in that moment is to mix up a defenderer. Okay, that's what it's trying to do. Now, when people don't understand how the energy works, that incoming energy trying to mix up could affect them where they're catatonic and frozen. A perfect victim. And they freeze there. Or the energies could catch them and push on them where they're going, and they're doing movements that don't do anything. All right. But if we do this properly, the energies mix up in a balanced way. If we get hit by a bunch of energy and we're not used to opening and letting them mix properly, they'll push us. They'll push us into catatonic. They'll push us into reacting crazy. Okay? Is that good enough? Yeah, that? Where are we? Turn the page for me. Let's see where we are. What is that? Ooh. Okay, inundated by energies, or it's a situation, it's heavy duty. In the old days of Aikido, we always, I don't know if this was a true story, but we always used it. Uh, the kid's working on his car, the jack slips, car falls on him, he's pinned. Grandma says, "Oh," and grandma comes over and lifts the car enough so he can slide out. That was our old story. What I read that was written up really well, a motorist, there's an accident across the way. He stops to see if he can help. The car's on fire. He goes over, guy's stuck in there, can't open the door, and he grabs the door and he rips the door open. Got the guy out safely. Later, he said something like, "I could never do that again. I don't know how that happened. It was for him to rip the door off like he did was unbelievable. What happened? He got one hell of a lot of energy because of the situation, and he was natural enough to have it mix up. Whoa, door ripper. Okay, cool story. Peak experience, right, follows that pattern. You're doing something and you're naturally kind of open, and suddenly everything clicks, and you're feeling great, hanging off the mountain by your fingertips, saying, "This is cool." Anyway, peak experience is dealing with a lot of incoming energy properly, where it's allowed, it mixes up and properly blends with, harmonizes with the situation. So situational. You might notice this trying to happen. Let's say you're this guy, and here comes a situation which is a real dumb guy that he drives you up the wall, and suddenly he's coming down the street towards you. And you know he's going to stop you and talk to you and bug you with whatever insanity he usually hits you with. That's why you don't, not that guy. As soon as you see him, you're like, not that guy. And he comes closer, and you're starting to look for a way to run or starting to crawl or starting to get tight. That's your system reacting. If we were to do this properly, make up story. The system is trying to mix up a character, you, who would be more appropriate with this guy. Even if he's dumb, you would be at a certain sense of something where you'd accept his dumbness, or give you patience where you could hang out with him even though he's a fool, whatever. So doing this properly, there's a lot of potential. For people who work with kids, you could create a game just with that. You're standing there, and here comes the guy that's going to push you or something. Create a game, but teach them how this system is trying to mix up better for that situation. Bring it down to a child's level. Okay. So situations. We have time. Make up your own game real quick because we're running out of time. Oopa! Here we go. Okay. The game is pick up something. Okay, now we know if you just pick it up, this guy's going to hurt his back. But now, because we're so advanced, that's said tongue in cheek, there's a sign on the wall. It says, "Bend your knees when you lift." Oh, I'm sorry to say we're so that we have to read the sign. So you bend your knees, but you just do it knowingly. And my back may still go out, but my knees were bent. Yeah, but it wasn't a bent knee person. Settle, open. There's the job or the situation. Settle and open. And the body is trying to mix up a bit better. Okay. There's the situation. I want to pick up more weight, or I want to pick it up better, or I've got to pick it up. My job is pick up 200 of these. Okay, wait. Settle and open. It's mixing up. Let's see, finer tuning. My feet seem to go flatter. There's a sense of depth deeper than the floor. There's a sense of a beat here someplace where it's downbeat and then it'll be an upbeat on the lift. What else? Easy. Feeling the character and the energies that are still mixing up better lifter. align to it, have a relationship of your center to that center. So don't do it from here. That doesn't feel right. Better. Is that right? Ooh, a tenth of an inch. Ugh. There. Just feels like this and that are connected. I feel under it. So it doesn't feel like I'm on top of it. Under, lift. Thank you. I think we killed our time. You got the
Thank you,
game?
Sensei. Thank you,
Make up
Sensei.
your own games.
Okay. Thank
Oh.
you, Sensei.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank people again for their donations. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you.
And everyone, Sensei will be back in just a moment. And please stay with us if you will. Sensei is going to take a short break and we will return. He will return. We'll stay here. Sorry. And we're good. All right. And so anybody have anything to say? Anybody want to send in questions via chat? Or there'll be a chance later to shout out your questions. We've got 55 people. We're up to 62 tonight. Where do we donate? Good question. I always like it when people ask that question. Here we go.
Hey, Lauren.
Yes, sir.
I noticed you didn't send out an announcement, so I just wanted to say to everyone, I will be there tomorrow at 4 and hope to see anyone who's interested.
And I will send out the announcement for Moon Sensei's class. Shame on me for forgetting. I did announce it earlier, Richard, so it's not that we've
Thank you.
forgotten. But
No big. Just wanted to invite everyone who wanted to be there. Thanks so much, Lauren.
Okay. And we've had a few questions come in during the class that'll get us started when Sensei returns for his little fireside chat. Anybody want to send anything in? We'll do our best to see that Sensei responds within the limited time. Depends on what the question is and how he answers it, I suppose. And anybody got any good jokes? No.
I would just say that the class was great. This whole event, I have really been enjoying this. You know, I probably been with Bob longer than most. And when we started, there were some very fundamental things that he used to teach. And as the years have gone on, he's gotten fancier and deeper and whatever. And all of a sudden, as he's come back, and I think especially because of all you new folks, thank you for being here. Bob has started to go over the real fundamental things that are the basis of the work he does. And I've really, really enjoyed that. And I think it's been in my conversations with him, I think he has too. And so I really appreciate all of you who joined us, and Lauren and Kenneth and everyone who's done the work to help this happen, so that this is being recorded and all that. We'll have an archive of some stuff. I just think it's really been a beautiful event, and all the energy we've gotten from the people is positive, and all the energy that I think, Lauren, you can speak to this too, but all the energy that I've heard from Bob is very positive as well. So big thank you, as it was.
Well, Richard has just gone on to say that, you know, Nadeau Sensei is returning to basics. Last week in class, he talked about grammar school. I think if you go back and look at all the videos that Moon Sensei has posted with Ken Cron over these years, most of them are on YouTube and some are on the blog, createabeautifulworld.org. What you see is that Sensei has been teaching these basic themes for decades. And Right now, he's teaching them from his living room using a chair and his wife as the uke. But he was teaching dimensionality and lineage and character and centering forever since he's been teaching. And I think it's good to go back to these fundamentals. You know, we can't most of us can't do pairs practice right now. And we certainly don't have a dojo to work in, but this is still practice to me. And I hope you are too. So here's Nadeau Sensei. He's back. And Sensei, welcome back.
Yo, thank you.
And we're going to begin, Sensei, with, if I can find you here in the gallery. Sorry. I'm going to spotlight you. All right, you're in the spotlight.
With
Sensei,
my glass of wine. Yes.
Well, what kind of wine are you drinking?
I'm not sure. That gotcha.
Red. Sensei, there were a number of questions that came up during the class, and if I can start with one of them.
Okay.
You told a story about being in Tokyo, walking down the street.
Yeah.
And you said that you could become positively active while walking and centering on a telephone pole. What did you, the question is, what do you mean positively active?
Okay, look at the situation. I was walking to get to my apartment, and in the vague back of my mind, I was thinking negative thoughts. I don't remember what they were, but they were negative. It wasn't obvious. It wasn't like, oh, that damn guy and whatever. It was just back in my, but they were negative. I thought, I don't think that's good. Because even back in the mind, thoughts are going to call up energy, was my sense. So I purposefully started to be more alert at the odd moments, like walking to my apartment or taking advantage of that time and doing an active practice, which was positive. I was being more centered. I was being more present. In being more centered, the energies would mix better. I'd be a better walker or a happier walker going to my apartment. Is that good enough? I don't know how else to answer.
Thank you, Sensei. I'll go on to the next question, if I may. And that is, several people like the concept that you gave of the wave, waiting for the wave, and small wave
people.
and small. They're probably surfers. They're probably surfers.
Yeah, the damn people from Hawaii. Okay. Yeah.
So the idea of a small wave and a big wave and counting the waves or taking your time to get the right wave. How do we go from that concept to a practice, to experience, to feeling, to real life?
Play. Okay, I want to stand, and I want to stand. Can you see me fairly full?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I'm talking here to the energy. I want to stand at a pretty good time, or I want to stand with a good medium wave. Easy, I settle down, and I'm feeling. I see. There's just a lot of moving around. Okay, that's what I see. And there's a floor starting to show. I get this flat thing that's a floor, and it's starting to show. And there's the floor, and I feel this surge, and now it's surging. I just play in here and sense in here until you can actually feel the timing of it. You just play, then you'll know what I'm talking about. If you just stay up here and think about it but don't play, how are you ever going to feel the wave? You're sitting in a hotel. You didn't even make it to the beach. You didn't get into the water. How are you going to pick up the wave? It's hard to do sitting in your hotel at the bar. I'm sorry, does that do anything for you? Play with it, and it starts to get clearer and clearer and clearer. It's
A
like
sense of-
anything else if you play with it. If you play with, I don't know, a language, but you play deeper, you get a girlfriend of that language and you hang out with her and you're getting deeper into the language, or you immerse into the language. And after a while, you understand more. And after a while, you can speak and hear it, and you're appropriate in that language. What the hell's the difference? Except this language is a little more sense feeling. Sense feeling. So you fire some off and they won't be the right time when you first start. But as you play this game of settling, and now, that wasn't quite the right time, but you got to start someplace. Easy, settle, and oh, gee, that felt better. It felt like it was timed right. I wouldn't say 100% right, but boy, that was close to right. I could feel it. Play. How do you learn tennis? You start from knowing nothing and missing the ball to becoming a tennis player and becoming a better tennis player. How'd you get there? You just played. You funned around. That's all I'm doing. I'm funning around with the universe with the question of how do you work? That's what I do. I call it mulling. But in my mulling, I sense feel. And that's why I can get pretty fancy and I can sense feel finer dimensions and stuff like that. How did I get there? Just playing around. Okay. So again, I don't know where the question's coming from. The answer is not here. The answer is in playing here. Sense feeling. And just stand. And then be more sense feeling open. And it should show that, ooh, there was something there. It wasn't 100%, it was about 50%, but I felt a little push from under. Ooh, play. Sorry, I can't say it any better than that.
Thank you, Sensei.
If the person were sitting here with me, I could play a game with them and help them a bit. But what I said should be good enough. Katya, are you around? Come here for a moment. Sit on the edge of the chair and stand. Okay, and stand. Stand. Okay, now sit, settle, open. Now we want to stand off of a bigger wave. Okay, jump into gun a bit. So I felt the wave, I sensed the wave, and I felt her jump ahead of it a bit. So not quite. Easy, settle. Okay, get ready. There it is, there it is. Pretty good. Why are you so slow though? Did you start to think about it? It's not done up here. Okay, but the timing was good. Settle. Good location. There it is. There it is. Good. And I'd like to feel the body a little fuller, but the timing was pretty good. Okay, so if you were here, that's what I do with you. Thank you. Get out of here.
And Sensei, thank you very much. Thank you, Katya.
Okay.
And if I could, there are some related questions. Now you've got everybody's juices flowing and their questions are pouring in.
I've got wine. I can hang out. Go ahead.
And so one question, and there's several sort of
related.
Thank you. Is, okay, I should count the waves. I should be sensitive to the wave. I want to be receptive to the wave. The wave looks so fucking big. How do I train myself? Can I practice being receptive to waves that are so big they make me feel uncomfortable in real life?
It shouldn't be so understanding. Easy. Okay, maybe in the imagination mind idea, I'm watching a movie of a killer wave that's gonna, what do you call the killer wave?
Tsunami.
Tsunami. Oh, a tsunami. I can't deal with it either because this is too big. It's not your idea going out into God knows what. Keep it Yeah, there's a little wave here. Okay, but keep it here. Don't tsunami on me. I want a big wave. Ain't no surfer going to ride a tsunami for long. So you might be expanding the mental of it beyond belief.
I think the person is talking about hostile energy, physical energy, or emotional attack, that kind of way.
Okay, okay. Different story. Different story. Okay. Energies are benign, but okay, this is the monster approach. This is therapy time here, and I don't know how much into this I want to get. In opening to energies, there are different qualities of energies. And some people have, especially at first, because of the family they were in, maybe in the family you were in, free spirit was frowned on. If you were a free spirit, maybe your family would, no, you can't do that, you can't say that, you can't act that way. That's bad. Okay. And so you had this quality, but your parents suppressed it. For this is an example. Now we're asking you to open to this quality, but you already have this idea. No, daddy said it was bad. It must be bad. It's a monster. Now you have to do proper therapy, and that you have to meet with it and sort of dialogue with it until you realize it's really benign. It's not here to attack you. That's your misunderstanding. I call those sharks. Okay, I call those monsters. And I say a monster is an ally who is misunderstood. You got that? Repeat it to yourself. A monster is an ally that is misunderstood. And when you hang out and let it express itself, take your time, because I know you're afraid. I know you don't want to let it through your system, but you got to hang out and slowly but surely hang out with it. Again, if you were here and paying me the right amount of money, we would do a therapy session with you with this monster. But that's the basics of it. Let's say, well, I think that's pretty clear, that a lot of cases, it started when you were very young, and a lot of it is related to your family. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And if they said that's bad, then as you become an adult, you often don't allow that quality character because you were told that's bad. Okay, so you have to work it out. Yeah.
Sensei, is there any, in addition to what you've shown us tonight, is there any particular exercise or practice that somebody could work on, that sort of being receptive to waves? Anything you can suggest tonight?
No, don't confuse it here. I use waves as a timing practice. Now we're not talking about that, are we? We're talking about monsters. Or did I misunderstand?
I think I started talking about waves, and the wave was felt by the person as an emotional attack or a hostile energy.
Now, let's not use the word waves anymore. We'll confuse some people. I was using waves as a timing thing. When do I ride my board to the shore? When the right wave comes up. We were using it as timing. Now we've changed the discussion, and we're talking about energy movements that move up as a quality, that are sharks that are going to bite you on the ass. It's no surprise that Jaws was a real scary movie. This thing that comes up from deeper that's going to get you. Okay? So let's clearly change the topic. We're talking about energies that are seen as a monster. How do we deal with them? Okay?
Yes, sir. That is clear. Thank you.
Okay. Again, this is therapy time, and it takes a little bit longer and stuff. you sit down, and you call up, if you sort of know the quality in what form, or do it generic. There's an energy flow here, or a flow that comes at me that scares the shit out of me. I would like to come to terms with you. Could you show yourself? And as you open, usually it'll show, because it's been trying to come into play, but been locked out because it's been conceived as a monster. So it can't come into the mix and create the healthy person, the strong person. It's being kept in abeyance. It's like trying to live without vitamin C or D or B or something. It's a vitamin. But for some reason, you have this thing where, no, that's bad. Okay, now it's time to deal with it. So a simple way is calling it up and sort of having a dialogue, a sense of settling. I know I'm afraid to, because sharks there, man, going to get me on the ass. Easy. Opening, and let's just start the dialogue easy. What I used to have people do in therapy is have that energy just come up in an inch pipeline. So you can kind of feel what it's saying and hear what it's saying. Okay? And we'd settle and open, and now it's coming up, and it's a 2-inch pipeline. At the first couple of statements it makes usually are very negative. I hate you and I'm going to gobble you up or something. They're very negative. The second one is kind of negative, but not quite as harsh. The third one, and these numbers may not be right. Basically, I like 7 count, but in some cases I use a 10 count if they're really. But as you open up a little bit, and you can start to feel it, hear it, talk to it, and it'll start to change its tonality from I'm gonna get you to something a little bit different. Most people right there, and that's around three or four of this process, don't believe it. They say, no, he's acting nice, so I'll hang my ass over the boat. He'll bite my ass off. You following this? So they don't trust 3 and 4 when he starts to change his tonality. He's changing because he's being allowed more to be clearer about what it really is. As we continue, it gets clearer and clearer and nicer and nicer. And one game is, what are you going to do for me? And it'll say what its real job is, what it's always been trying to do. It's this. Again, this is therapy time. This takes a lot of time and a lot of talk and stuff. But is that anywhere close enough?
Thank you, Sensei.
Yeah. And by the way, this form is potentially very fast. And if you come to terms with your monster, once won't be enough. You got to go back at it again another day and go over it all again. More than once, a few times plus, to really become friends. So that ally can be part of the mix. You won't have scurvy anymore if you do this right, because the vitamin C monster will be allowed to be there doing what it really does. Okay, so
And
oftentimes I would work somebody for an hour to go through one of these. Okay, so take your time and play the game of that there's something trying to come up, and you're just going to dialogue with it and open a bit when it's comfortable, or it won't be comfortable at first. So open a bit and dialogue and hear what it's saying to be clearer. Actually voice what it's saying. Oh, it just said, I hate you. I've always hated you. Okay, easy and settle. Next 2-inch pipeline. Okay, your turn. And you can talk back to it and say, I really get uptight when you say that to me. Now, what do you got to say? And then you give it a turn. And it says something, and you say, well, here's my reaction to what you said. Now, your turn. What do you have to say? I create a conversation pattern. I think that's good enough for now.
And Sensei, we're getting follow-up questions coming towards you that are asking, so that people are understanding that you're speaking about an inner dialogue, an inner energy development.
Who are you
And-
going to talk to? The mailman? I'm sorry.
No,
Of
they're
course, it's inner sensing, inner dialogue. Yeah.
right. But people are asking, well, how do I want to say translate or actualize that in the outer world when there's actually some really hostile person walking towards me and I'm faced a situation that I'm in a situation that feels overwhelming. How do I?
This is not, remember, this gets very fast. Take your time when you're practicing, but it gets very fast. Here he comes. Hey, here I am. Fast. But don't you practice fast because you'll miss a lot of stuff. But Sensei said it was instantaneous. Nice. Now don't worry about that. Take your time, really flush it out, soak in it for a while, whatever. But if somebody's coming at me, my system is already starting to mix and react, and boom. Okay. Story time. Do we have a minute?
Yes, sir.
One from old martial arts story. A very rich samurai. He's so rich, he has a young man that carries his sword. So he's out in the courtyard in the evening. Beautiful evening. He's enjoying his courtyard flowers. The young man holding the sword says, I could get him now, no matter how good he is. I've got the sword. At which time, the old man said, oh, shit, quick, hand me the sword. There's an enemy in the gates. He was sensitive enough to pick up this thought pattern from the young man about I could get him. Okay, good old martial arts story. Sensei had the same thing happen. He was urinating, and was usually somebody with him. I might have been Bill Witt. I'm not sure. It might have been Bill Witt. And while Sensei's urinating, this guy, whoever it was, thought, I could get him now. He's busy holding himself urinating. I could get him. At which time, Sensei turned around and kind of scowled. Later, this guy said to Sensei, Sensei, while you were urinating, you turned and scowled. Why was that? And Sensei said, somebody was thinking bad about me. Okay. Now, understand what's happening here. The very thought of attacking Sensei's system started to respond to that thought and started to mix up a defender. And that's what Sensei, what the hell's this going on? It's mixing up a defender. Somebody must be thinking of bugging me here. Okay, so for Sensei, so that's a nice Japanese Buddha warrior story of the guy in the courtyard, but it was an actual also for Sensei. The same thing happened. So what am I missing here?
Sensei, I don't think you're missing anything. I think that what you're saying is that the practice of Aikido helps us adapt to the situation as needed.
Let me go back to that question, the questioner of that. Didn't he pick up when I said, okay, we're going to do 20 sit-ups. Ready, set, forget about it. Didn't he pick up all the surge? Didn't he not feel anything? That's what I was hoping would happen. People would say, holy shit, I really feel excited. I really feel anxious. I really feel wired. I got to move. Didn't he feel anything? Because that's what I was trying to get across. You got an answer for me there, Lauren?
So this.
Nani.
I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer, Sensei.
That's no response from whoever. The person that asked that question.
If the person who asked the question wants to open their microphone and ask the question directly, maybe that's the best thing. I will, in the meantime, say that somebody has written that Jim Cornfield has told a similar story about you, that he was sitting in your class And he thought quite seriously, I wonder if I could hit him right now. His back is turned to me. And you looked directly at him and shook your head no. Froze.
Yeah, some days the magic works. I don't know. I didn't know that happened, or I forgot it or something. Cool. Yeah.
I wonder, Sensei, if I might ask another question.
Yeah.
And so you talked before, you had in your diagram right behind you, one case, the situation approaches you, and the other one you had, you find yourself in the situation.
In the situation, yeah.
And you said that you used a phrase, we have this other phrase, I'm in my element. That person's in their element.
Yeah.
How do we find our element to be in? A good situation would be to be in your element, right?
Yeah. I don't know. A fireman in the middle of a fire could be in his element if he's really cool. Not too dumb.
No.
It doesn't have to be a good situation to be in your element. You could be, as a musician, up front before you step on stage, really afraid and really and you get on stage, there's the audience and your system's starting to adapt real fast, and suddenly you're in your element. You're with those people. You're singing to those people. You're sharing something with those people. You're an obvious showman. You're an actual showman. You're in your element. So it doesn't matter whether the situation is good, bad, or whatever. If your system mixes up equal to it, it doesn't matter. You're in your element. We could say about somebody, we could say a soldier in a battle type scene who's just really there and really reacting properly and stuff. And we could say he's in his element. He's so natural. He's so right on the button. It's just click, click, click. Everything he does is right. He's in his element in a certain way. It doesn't mean element is good. Your system mixes up equal, which is good. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And are you okay for a few more minutes?
Yeah. I just don't want to keep the people. No, go ahead.
Well,
couple more.
People are still with you.
Okay.
The question has come up, if you feel somebody thinking badly about you, and what's a good method to, deal with that or process that emotion that brings up in you? Does somebody said tenkan around or nage and throw it away or cleanse it off?
Okay. If I'm at a lesser of me, you thinking bad about me really, really gets me, because I'm lesser. If I'm in a better dimension, better level of character of me, I could be aware of that, but it doesn't hurt. When Katja was squeezing my arms, the first one, she was inside me, and she's quite strong. If you didn't notice, she's quite strong. Yeah, she's stronger than I am these days. She's quite strong, and she was inside me. It hurt a bit. It hurt enough to where I could feel this reaction. At a better level, she's still squeezing or angry at me or whatever, thinking bad thoughts about me, but I'm in a better place. And yeah, I'm aware of that, but it doesn't get inside me. It's water off a duck's back is what happened. She's squeezing, but she wasn't inside me. And at the level I was at, it was an outside squeeze, and a little more advanced level, I could feel her energy. Oh, it's going there. Water off a duck's back. Was that clear?
Yes.
You see, it doesn't matter what the situation is, your system will try to do something properly. Doesn't matter if they're yelling at you, your system will try to mix up proper. Doesn't matter if they're actually physically going to throw a punch, your system is trying to mix up proper. It doesn't matter if your loved one is dying, your system will try to mix up somebody who is not okay with it, but can cope with it properly, whatever that may be. This is the system jobs, to mix up a balancer. That's the law. I know you'll balk at your loved one dying, but that's the law. Your system is trying to mix up somebody who can, I don't know the word, cope properly, whatever that means. Trust your system and see what it's mixing, what character it's creating, and that'll be the answer.
And Sensei, last question, if I could.
Yes.
Someone has written that sometimes as they do even these standing exercises or arm extension exercises, that they feel a block when they're reaching their physical limit. And how do they go finer? You said don't go bigger.
Yeah.
But
inner
finer.
Okay. So good question. Let's see. You do one extension. You do two. You do three. Getting fuller and fuller body, and you're pretty full body. Okay, I think that's where they're at. They're full body, and they do a couple more, but they can't get anything more than full body. Okay, and they feel a block. That's probably a dimensional, paper thin, but it's a dimensional wall, barrier. We have a word for that? Membrane. That's the word I use. Thank you. Bumping into the membrane between a full physical and the next dimension, which is more energy. Now, how do you break through there? How do you move through there? Full physical. You recognize, you can feel the block. You double check to make sure you're full. You double check, and then easy. Okay, acknowledge that you hit a block. Acknowledge that if you open, it's not clear yet, but you sense more space, but it hasn't clarified yet. This is a 1x1, 2x2, 3x3 game. If they were there, they should have the answer. They did this physically. We'll call that a 1x1. It's better than a 1x1, but we'll call it a 1x1. When you can't get anything more out of it, you settle, open, and you just acknowledge that there's a 2x2. You just acknowledge it's a bigger or finer realm, and it has a little more energy. And first is not clear, but you step. Easy, you go over it again. Easy, settle, open. It's a finer realm, finer energies. Ooh, I'm starting to pick it up now, but I'm fast. They may not pick it up yet. But to acknowledge it and just hang out. First it'll be a little bit unknown, and then it starts to show it's there. And in my case, it's flowing a lot. I'm more in an energy realm, and it flows. And in this level that I'm at, it's moving through me. So I didn't stick my arm out at this level. It did that. Something else moved my arm out. So acknowledge that you're there at the wall. It's a runner's wall. Same thing. The runner runs till he hits the wall. He says, oh my God, I can't run anymore. But he does a little something and he continues to run. And he breaks through. And suddenly it's a whole different running. It's easier. He's got his second wind. He can go on for another mile or 5. He broke the runner's wall. All runners touched that, hit that, and went through it. Okay? So it's the same thing here. So acknowledging that it's a little bit bigger, open to it, that it's there and it's finer, and then you step into it, and at first you won't maybe feel that much. but you continue to play the game and you repeat, I'm stepping into a finer space. And you repeat till suddenly that activity in that space begins to, whoa, there really is something here. Okay. Sometimes there might be too much of a tendency of Bobby not moving into Robert because Bobby thinks I have to understand everything. Not realizing Bobby doesn't understand Robert. Bobby can run his limits. I can't do anymore. But I know there's a Robert. I know it needs more space. Suddenly Robert starts to develop and show that Robert is there. It's not Bobby figuring out how to be a Robert. It's not Bobby being a Robert. Bobby has to be fully himself, his dumb self, whatever, but fully himself honestly. It begins to open up, and Robert's trying to mix because you're on lineage. Does that help any?
Thank you very much, Sensei. And I think we've run longer than scheduled, and
Okay.
don't want to use everything up. Many people are writing thank you, thank you, thank you. And
Thank you.
people are very happy to see, somebody's written, they're very happy to see you're still playing in the big waves.
Malo. Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
very much.
We'll close out for tonight.
Sensei.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you very much.
Looks like Denise and Janet and Gina are still here. Glad you made it.